Hi, my name is Matt Kendricks. Today I'm going to talk about something that's probably important to everybody. It's about monetizing your open source project. And I made some mistakes in the beginning. I think the biggest mistake was I originally just sold support hours for dSIPRouter. And it became very apparent to me that we couldn't create a repeatable business by a reoccurring, strong, repeatable business from month to month on just support hours. Because you don't know exactly when people are going to buy support, and it's very hard to kind of predict and forecast what your revenue is going to be based on that. And also the big thing is that people would buy one-time support, get dSIPRouter set up, and then we won't hear from them for a very long time until there's some problem or they want to upgrade or something of that nature. The other thing that I did is I gave away too much in the beginning. So I gave away too many features in the very beginning. Like the UI components was just unlimited. So you could do anything you want. You can have as many. We have a whole concept of having carriers and endpoints, and they're unlimited, and it's still unlimited. We're gonna fix that, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. The API was unlimited as well, so people could just download dSIPRouter and then use the API as much as they want to, and all the modules were free. We had no concept of paid modules at that time. That's changed, but in the beginning, that was a big mistake on our part. So I guess the next thing that comes into what I'm kind of thinking here is what would I do differently? So a lot of those things that I would do differently, we're going to fix in the 1.0 version of dSIPRouter. I guess the big thing is that I would provide a framework out of the box. Like what we did for the first 4 to 7 years here, because we're on our 7th year, is we didn't provide a framework for people to extend. And I found that open source projects that have a framework for people to extend, very much like the WordPress model, where people can build modules, they can pay for modules, and then from independent software developers, and then they can start using it with the WordPress core. We were missing that concept. So that's something that we're bringing into the new version of dSIPRouter. Also, I would go back to this whole unlimited use. I would make certain things very limited use, and that way we would be able to capture more revenue as people got more value out of the product. And I think that's fair. And I guess the other thing is I would have created a plugin architecture to allow others to contribute and allow them to monetize their work. And I think that is something that people love open source. It's just that they're trying to figure out how to make money from it. And I'm like, we should be a catalyst to help independent software developers or up and coming software developers to start making money from some of the things that they love to build. So I think that's a big thing that we should have and we're gonna do different. The other thing here is that I should have made the API paid from day one, or not expose it yet until I was ready. Because it's very hard in some cases to roll back a feature that you've already given for free. In some cases, this triggers people forking the project, creating their own community, and kind of leaving you behind. But I'm hoping that the next version of the product we do a lot better by taking some of these different things that we just talked about and incorporating it into the 1.0 version. So the other problem that we had is really figuring out what's our approach to monetization, right? Because if you have an open source project, how do you like charge people for stuff? If you have modules that you want to be able to sell, how do you do that? How do you incorporate a licensing mechanism into an open source project? And that was a big thing that we had to figure out how to do. Because obviously, if you're using something, an open source project, and all the sources is freely available, people can just get around your licensing scheme. And we do. We have people that get around our licensing scheme all the time. And so we want to change that. We want to change it so that we're getting paid based on the value we're bringing to the company. So I think we're coming up with strategies around how to do that, but still stay open source as well. And I think one of the things that we're thinking about is that going to a compiled language with modules and having it so that only the licensing module is available once you pay for a subscription. So you get this licensing module, and then the licensing module becomes the gateway or the gatekeeper to other modules that you want to buy. So that's what we're thinking about now. But yeah, it was been we've been running the project, like I said, for like 7 years now. So figuring out how to monetize your open source project in the very beginning makes your life a lot easier down the road. I know that's hard to hear right now, because when you're starting out with an open source project, you have a blank repo in a lot of cases. You're just trying to figure out how to build something so that you can get people using it. Or you have a problem yourself and you're building something for yourself. But I do think that you have to think long term about how am I going to support this project long term. Hey folks, you just got done watching another episode of Building a $1 Million Open Source Business. Please click the subscribe button if you got value out of this content. Talk to you soon.